Hello everybody and welcome to the 11th round of the 1993 season for the Hungarian Grand Prix here on F1 Challenge. This track, often seen as the Monaco without the barriers and the glamour, is one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar, requiring both concentration and consistency to achieve a good result. If you missed the last episode at the German Grand Prix, make sure to go and check that one out before watching this one, as there was chaos at the front, with unexpected contenders fighting for victory. Going into this round, Damon Hill leads the way with 56 points, 8 ahead of his teammate Alain Prost. Meanwhile for Jean Alesi, he'll be hoping to build on his momentum after securing his first win of his Formula 1 career. As for us, we are 16th in the Drivers' Championship and yet to score any points since the Monaco Grand Prix. Larrousse remain level with Sauber in 9th place in the Constructors. Our objectives for today's race are a top 14 starting position from the qualifying session with a top 9 finish in the Grand Prix. This is going to be a tough one today, with it being the longest race on the calendar to complete. Now let's head into the news of the week. Hello and welcome to the Hungarian edition of the News of the Week, where we start off with a flurry of new announcements for next season. Starting off with the race venues for 1994, where AIDA Circuit will host the Pacific Grand Prix for the very first time. An expanding level of popularity in Japan has meant that a second race in the country has been organised. The track is well known for its long sweeping corners, as well as being a true driver's circuit. Returning to the calendar is the Kyalami circuit in South Africa, which has had its contract extended for another year. The track is a fan favourite, but despite this, its future was in jeopardy, with funds being a slight issue for the venue. F1 commercial rights holder Bernie Eccleston has stated that, quote, "We need to keep the variety of the cultures within the sport. It wouldn't be a world championship without all parts of the world being involved." The legendary Nürburgring circuit returns to the calendar for the first time in 9 years, with the modern GP Strecke layout being used. The increasing popularity of F1 in Germany has been greatly increased thanks to the rise of Michael Schumacher in the sport. The German track will host the European Grand Prix, taking over the place previously hosted at Donington Park. On to driver transfers now, where McLaren have signed promising Briton Johnny Herbert to be paired alongside Mika Hakkinen for 1994. Johnny Herbert's signing signifies a shift in McLaren's mentality, going for a low-key signing rather than an all-star name. The two have previously been teammates at Lotus, getting along well with each other. Team principal Ron Dennis spoke on this, commenting that the team needs good morale boost right now, and I think Johnny will bring that. He is a fast driver with a great attitude, and I expect him to fit in well here. The upgrades are next, where we will see that Williams will fetch a new front wing with the aim of drag reduction to be the focus. Whilst the upgrade is unlikely to be effective at the Hungaroring, tracks such as Spa and Monza will allow them to put their newest update to good use. McLaren also introduced a drag reduction improvement in the form of a new engine cover. They will also see the improvements in the coming rounds similar to Williams. Jordan initiates a new rear wing, allowing for more downforce. The Irish team will be hoping to have an upturn in performance, having only 1 point scoring finish since the San Marino Grand Prix. Tyrrell also launched a new rear wing for extra downforce, as well as a new gearbox to help with the team's reliability. The British outfit have had a slightly more competitive car in the past few rounds, and will hope to build on that in Hungary. That's all for the news of the week. Now let's head into qualifying. Hello and welcome to qualifying day for the 1993 Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll be hoping for maybe a good result in this race, as Hungary is often a track that throws up strange results with midfield and backmarker cars, maybe capable of getting a good points haul or maybe even the odd podium. As we start our first qualifying lap in the session, we see that Jean Alesi currently has pole position. He won the race last time out in Germany, and it's a decent time from him so far, as 16.3. as we round the final corner and start our first lap in the qualifying session. I'm not a great fan of this circuit. It is quite repetitive, but it's not the worst track in the world. I don't mind driving it from time to time. As we head into the final sector, there's a big lockup on our first lap. And across the line it's a 16.9. It puts us 6/10 off of the French Sicilian driver's pace, as we now are on our second run. We've been shuffled down to 11th place, and Michael Schumacher, a much more representative time it would see, is 8/10 quicker than what Jean Alesi set earlier on in the session, coming to the first sector split. We're 3/10 up through the first sector. I did take it kind of cautious through the first lap. We're not as far up in the second sector, so there was a slight mistake or hesitancy in the second sector. Through the third sector, up towards the line, it's a 16.8. That's only a 10th improvement, so there's definitely time to find in the final 2 sectors at least. As we now head into my final lap in the session, Alain Prost currently on pole. We'll see how close we can get to that lap time heading into my final lap.
Second sector.
And I don't think laps come much better than that. A 15.8 puts us 5/10 away from pole and in 5th position. Absolute lap of the season stuff right there. I don't know if anyone's going to beat that lap time as we now head into the Grand Prix. What a place to start. Hello everybody and welcome to race day for the 1993 Hungarian Grand Prix, where Alain Prost once again takes pole position for the Williams team. Michael Schumacher starts alongside on the front row, with Ayrton Senna completing the top 3. Damon Hill 5 thousandths behind the Brazilian starts alongside the McLaren in 4th place. Meanwhile for us, it's an equal best qualifying session of the season for us. 5th place and ahead of Martin Brundle by 100th of a second. Mika Hakkinen and Gerhard Berger complete the 4th row, with Patrese and Alesi completing row 5. Blundell, Herbert, Warwick and Yarvaleto are up next, with Barrichello in 15th in the Jordan. Christian Fittipaldi is up next in the first Minardi, followed by the second Jordan of Eddie Irvine. Alessandro Zanardi in the Lotus is up next in 18th place, followed by Carl Wendlinger in the second Sauber. Felipe Alio, nowhere near me in the qualifying session, starts from 20th place and almost 2 seconds off my qualifying time. The 2 Tyrrells are up next, locking out the 11th row of Katayama and Andrea De Cesaris, with Emmanuel Naspetti, not a great qualifying from him all things considered, starts from 23rd position. Aguri Suzuki is in 24th, followed by the 2 Scuderia Italias of Luca Badoa and Ivan Capelli rearing up. This is a 2-stop strategy for us today, stopping on lap 26 and then stopping again on lap 52, going to the end of a 77 lap race. Heading onto the grid now, it's kind of a tight squeeze to get through up into our grid spots, but we will do eventually get up there. There is our grid spot on the left hand side. As we now await the lights for the 1993 Hungarian Grand Prix. There are the lights. 26 drivers, 5 lights. Up and running. Now the lights are green and there's racing to be seen. It's a fairly decent start against Martin Brundle. We keep ahead of him for now. Looking on the inside of championship leader Damon Hill there as we head in towards turn 1. Senna's got ahead of Michael Schumacher for second place. Up ahead is possibly trying to challenge Alain Prost in towards the first corner. Someone's lost their rear wing as we head into the second sector for the first time. It's an Emmanuel Naspetti we're looking on board with. See what he's done. Heading on the start. Oh, and there's contact between the two Tyrrells there. Not sure which one was which. But as we head towards turn 1, where is Naspetti? There he is, taking off the rear wing of Carl Wendlinger, that is. So another retirement for Carl Wendlinger, and Emmanuel Naspetti will most certainly get a penalty for his expense. Damon Hill, we're currently still on the back of him, and that's a very rearward moment for the Williams. Can we look towards the inside? We're not quite alongside enough or close enough to try and get through. As further back we see Riccardo Patrese. Oh, and that's both Ferraris spinning round at the chicane. And that's 2 free positions there for the experienced Italian. He's now up into what I believe is 7th place. And ending the first lap, it's Alain Prost that leads from Senna, Schumacher, Hill, myself, who is currently defending from Martin Brundle, and Mika Hakkinen completing the top 7. There's a bit of a gap there to Riccardo Patrese because he had to hold himself up a little bit thanks to the 2 Ferraris making that mistake. And that's Michael Schumacher with a gearbox failure straight into the pit lane for the German. And that's going to be us up into 4th place. And that's terrible luck there for Michael Schumacher, who was looking definitely, well, so early on you can't really tell, but he was definitely in the fight for a podium at least. As you can see, on the end of lap 4, we are very quickly being dropped by the 3 front runners now, not 4 front runners. As obviously Michael Schumacher's retired. Martin Brundle's still on the back of us. Hill's put that lead out to about 4 seconds ahead of us, as he's now on the back of Ayrton Senna's McLaren. Can he get a run in towards the first corner? It's going to be Ford Power versus Renault as they head in towards turn 1. Alain Prost just ahead as well, and up the inside goes Damon Hill, and he is up into 2nd position. A good move there for the Briton. As every point's going to now count in this championship fight, of course. Prost and Hill sharing victories with each other, as on lap 8, Damon Hill's now caught up to the back of Alain Prost. That's wide there for Prost through the penultimate corner, and Damon Hill's going to say thank you very much, soars straight round the outside, and Damon Hill's going to take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So it's been a fantastic start then for Damon Hill, who started 4th, and in 8 laps is already up to the lead of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile for us, at the end of lap 9, gap to Senna ahead is 6 seconds, as we're still trying to keep Martin Brundle behind. But Brundle's got a great run out the final corner. Can he make a run up the inside in towards turn 1? He's not close enough to make that sort of a move. Lap 11 though, and Martin Brundle will get a much better run than what he did the lap before. Straight out the exit of the corner. And can Martin Brundle make the move? Doesn't even need the slipstream to get alongside. Up the inside, it's a send there from Martin Brundle, and he is ahead of us, so he's up into 4th place. We've been relegated down to 5th. See if we can challenge back up the inside of Martin Brundle. Not quite, and we are down to 5th place with Mika Hakkinen looming large in the mirrors in the McLaren. So yeah, even though Martin Brundle's gone through, we are certainly looking very decent right now to possibly get some championship points for the first time since the Monaco Grand Prix. Hakkinen now putting us under a lot of pressure at the start of lap 15, can't quite get through, and Brundle's 5 seconds up the road already, so he's definitely a driver that needed to get past us. I imagine a lot of drivers need to get past us realistically if they want to be faster than us. Mika Hakkinen there, looking on the inside as we went deep through the second corner. He wasn't able to hold it round the outside of turn 3. We keep the position for now, but I feel like it's only going to be a matter of time of when Hakkinen goes through into 5th position. Saying that though, Hakkinen into the box for the first time, so he could possibly be on a 2-stop, maybe even a 3-stop strategy in this Grand Prix. Now Riccardo Patrese is the car directly behind us. Damon Hill now entering lap, I'm not entirely sure which lap this is, lap 23 maybe, as he enters the box for the first time. I'm not entirely sure which lap it is because I didn't edit in which lap it was in the top right. I'm assuming in post-editing that I do actually put that in. But yeah, Damon Hill into the box. And Alain Prost is quite a way behind, all things considered. He has got Ayrton Senna for company as well, but rounding the final corner, Alain Prost should be able to take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I don't exactly know where Hill is. It does say Prost is the race leader. There's Brundle as well in the background. And there was Hill just coming out the exit of the pit lane. Damon Hill there in 4th place, just behind the 3 leaders. And Damon Hill's rejoined 10 seconds in front, so Damon Hill is quite a bit faster than us in this Grand Prix. And that's Riccardo Patrese, and it's double trouble for Benetton. Both cars out of the race within 1/3 race distance. Both Benettons retiring due to a gearbox problem. There goes the gearbox for Riccardo Patrese, and Gerhard Berger goes through up into 6th place. And that's quite difficult there for Riccardo Patrese to take. He's not scored that many points so far this season, with the rumours looming that he could retire at the end of the 1993 season. Berger's now the next car behind, but he then, I believe, boxes at the end of this lap. He does box at the end of lap 25, so he's definitely looking towards a 2-stop strategy, as are we. But we're in on the end of lap 26 rather than the end of lap 25. Christian Fittipaldi's up into the points. Meanwhile, his teammate Emmanuel Naspetti, who had that incident with Carl Wendlinger, not doing us any favours right now, really holding us up through this middle sector. Get out the way, mate. I need to get through. I'm fighting for points and you're not. Shut the door on him there, getting through. So he can't challenge us into any more corners. We'll enter the pit lane eventually, coming into the final sector now. I believe that is a footwork ahead as well. So we are doing very well with the drivers that we're normally facing up against, such as the Minardis and the footworks. We are well and truly clear of them, almost a full lap ahead, as you can see. Entering the pit lane for the first time, the first of 2 times to be exact. Entering the pit lane on lap 26. It's a 6.7 second stop. It's a great stop. Fittipaldi goes through ahead. What about Hakkinen? Has he got the jump on us? The undercut from the McLaren up towards the pit exit line. There's Hakkinen going through now. And we have rejoined in 7th place. We have come out crucially ahead of Gerhard Berger. On the end of lap 27 now. And Gerhard Berger is putting us under a lot of pressure for that 6th position now it is, as Fittipaldi boxes for the first time. At the end of lap 27, he's possibly also on a 2-stop strategy, copying the same strategy that we are doing, as that's wide from us through the final corner, and that's going to give an invitation for Gerhard Berger to challenge up the inside, going in towards turn 1. Can he make the move? We have left him the room to try and make that move, and he's taken that gap very nicely indeed. Back up the inside for us though, in towards turn 2. Can we challenge around the outside of turn 3? We can't for now. We don't have the straight line speed over the Ferrari or the downforce in the slipstream now. Can we make a move in towards turn 4? No, the Ferrari's too quick in the straight line for us to make that sort of a move. So Gerhard Berger will now soar off into the distance, as the next car behind is Johnny Herbert's Lotus. As you can see, lap by lap, we are very quickly being dropped by the Austrian. 4 seconds is the gap following, 2 or 3 laps of him being ahead. Luca Badoa, meanwhile, his race is going to come to an end with a gearbox problem. It's been a tough season for Luca Badoa in his debut season, often outshining the performance of the Scuderia Italia, but there's only so much you can do in such a woeful car. Jean Alesi is now caught up to the back of us, so Johnny Herbert must have been overtaken in that time. And here comes Jean Alesi in towards turn 1. He won't try and make that gap, as Ayrton Senna is now holding up. Who's that? Brundle, Hakkinen and Berger behind him. So this is the battle for 3rd place currently. And as you can see, the gap was about 10 seconds to Berger. It's now down to about 6 in the space of maybe 2 or 3 laps. So Senna's doing a great job of holding everyone up. Of course, he's just pit and he's doing a 1-stop strategy, so he's very heavy on his fuel load as Alesi boxes at the end of lap 38. Johnny Herbert as well, I believe, will be into the box for the first time in this race. He will be into the box, and as such, I don't know who will be behind him as a result. Oh, it's Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi's right behind him. So Christian Fittipaldi, as well as myself, both two not regular point scoring teams, both challenging for possible points in this Grand Prix as Alain Prost boxes. And Damon Hill will take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I believe Damon has or needs to stop 2 more times, and Prost only needs to stop once more. So we'll see how that one plays out. Lap 43 now, and we've caught up to the back of Filipe Alliot, my teammate. It's a sobering sight for my teammate. We were so closely matched at the start of the season, but in recent rounds Filipe Alliot has really struggled, and as such, lap 43, barely over half race distance, so we could be in a shout to possibly lap him again before the end of this race. Lap 45, meanwhile, for Berger is his pit stop lap, as we now move up into 5th place. On the end of lap 46, we're now starting to be held up by Alessandro Zanardi, a lap car. Oh, and he's just turned in on us there, completely. Like, there was a gap on the left, and he just went, you know what, I'm just gonna turn right more than I need to, rather than letting through the faster traffic. Unbelievable from Alessandro Zanardi. It's not the first time we've come together, of course, having that crash at the Casino Square in Monaco. And on board with Zanardi, there was 100% more space for you to take on the left, and you just turned on the steer. Unbelievable there from Zanardi. I really hope he gets a penalty for that, because that was just absolutely stupid. There was no reason to do that, as he was also holding us up for a good amount of the second sector as well, so I'm not entirely sure what Zanardi's plan was there. Maybe he's trying to make an quote-unquote incident between myself and him, so Johnny Herbert could possibly get points and I crash out, as Fittipaldi now boxes at the end of that lap, and Alessandro Zanardi gets a 10-second time penalty, very much deserved. Out my way, mate. And we now get ahead of the Lotus driver. Lap 49, and Damon Hill is into the box for what will be his second stop in this race. I think it might be his second stop or his third. I'm not entirely sure what the pit strategies were for this race, as I did the race quite a bit before doing this voice recording. As you could probably tell, I'm forgetting quite a lot of things today. Exiting the pit lane is Damon Hill, and where will he be in comparison to his teammate? There's his teammate in the background, and Damon Hill has come out in a comfortable lead ahead of his teammate. There's Alain Prost now coming through turn 1. The gap's about 4 seconds. Meanwhile for us, we really need to pull out a gap ahead of Mika Hakkinen and Gerhard Berger if we want any chance of points. That's the scenario that we're in, and as such, we've pushed that hard. We're up the inside of Ayrton Senna. We've caught up to the back of the Brazilian, and we've put in the Brazilian under a lot of pressure, and this is one of the few moments where you'll see us overtake Ayrton Senna in an inferior car. A great move there to get us up into 4th place, but only momentarily, as we enter the box for the second and hopefully final time in this Grand Prix. Into the pit lane we go. Senna will go back through. I feel like it was definitely appropriate for us to get past Senna as quickly as we could, because he was very slow on that heavy fuel load. Martin Brundle also boxed on the end of that same lap, as you could see there. The gap was about 2 seconds, the reason being he was also in the pit box. Exiting the pit lane, and our efforts have come good. We've come out ahead of Hakkinen and Berger, but that's a mistake towards turn 1. Cold tyres, heavy fuel. We will stay ahead of Hakkinen and Berger for now, but boy, was that a silly mistake to make. Hakkinen all over the back of us now on lap 57, where they try and move in towards turn 1. He's not quite close enough to make that sort of a move, and we did hold on to it for the next 10 laps. And that's Emmanuel Naspetti out of the race so late on in this Grand Prix, and his race will come to an end. He's obviously got a time penalty as well, so I imagine he'll have a grid penalty for the next race in Spa. Lap 67 then, and we've still got Hakkinen and Berger. We don't have Berger behind us anymore. Gerhard Berger's out as well, just a couple of laps later after the Minardi, and his engine goes up in smoke as well. There goes the Ferrari power plant, and he will score absolutely nothing in this Grand Prix. A shame there for the Austrian. And yeah, we'll see if we can hold on to this 5th place for now, because And that's Jean Alesi with an engine failure on the exact same lap, just mere corners later. And both Ferraris are out. That's the corner where Gerhard Berger retired. And Jean Alesi makes it how many more corners? One more corner. And he is also out. So that is absolute devastation there for Ferrari. An absolute embarrassment as well. And that's Ukio Katayama as well. They're dropping like flies. Right at the end of this race, Ukio Katayama in the Tyrrell Yamaha, the reliability problem, they replaced the gearbox, but they didn't replace the engine. It's probably what they needed. And Ukio Katayama is also out of this race. So it's absolute pandemonium right now. Everyone's dropping around us like flies. There's a spin in Sector 2. Senna's dropping back. Senna's dropping back. What has happened to Ayrton Senna? We need to know. On board with Ayrton Senna. Don't tell me it's another retirement. Lap 68. He's so close to the end. And that's a brake failure for the McLaren. It's unbelievable. So many drivers retiring at the end of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's absolute pandemonium. I keep saying it, but it's just crazy. Up to 4th place now. We're holding on to a 4th place position. Still under the threat of Mika Hakkinen. Will he be able to make a move? There's only 6 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and that's very poor from us through the final corner. We had a bit of a rear loss. The tyres getting a little bit warm as we need, worn as we need to push that little bit extra. Coming through turn 1, we're now starting to be lapped by Damon Hill. And that's Yuki Arvaleto out of the race. Wait, and Hakkinen's dropping back as well. Is Hakkinen also out? Arvaleto and Hakkinen are both out of this race. Unbelievable scenes here in Hungary. Lap 71. There goes Yuki Arvaleto. Some sort of brake problem with his car, and he is out of the race. Hakkinen on the back of us in 5th place, challenging 4 points. This is absolutely insane. Suspension problem puts the end to a very promising race for the young Finn, and he is also out of the race. Wow, absolutely unbelievable. What's that, like 8 retirements in as many laps? And Christian Fittipaldi as such is up into 5th place now as we let through Damon Hill. I believe that's Damon Hill. Oh, it might be Alain Prost. One of the Williams either way has just lapped us for the first time in this Grand Prix, is rounding the final corner for the final time with absolute chaos behind. Damon Hill comes home to calmly take another win. It's the 1993 Hungarian Grand Prix for Damon Hill. Meanwhile, for us, rounding the final corner, it's a career best 4th place finish. Absolutely ecstatic with that one. And it's more points on the board for Larrousse. A great race. Damon Hill then takes another victory in this 1993 season. He wins 11 seconds of his teammate Alain Prost and extends his championship lead. Martin Brundle with his 2nd podium finish of the season and our 2nd point score of the season in 4th place. A great result for the Larrousse team. A great result as well for Minardi and Lotus, with Fittipaldi and Herbert respectively scoring points as well here in Hungary. Derek Warwick just missing out on points in 7th, with Blundell, Barrichello and De Cesaris getting his best result of the season, completing the top 10. Felipe Alio getting the best of Alessandro Zanardi following that 10-second penalty for the Italian, with Irvine, Suzuki and Capelli being those that reached the checkered flag. Hakkinen and Arvaleto both classified but retiring. Senna, Berger, Alesi, Katayama and Nespetti all retiring in the space of 4 laps, with Badoa also out halfway through the race. Both the Benettons succumbing to gearbox problems, with Carl Wendlinger being crashed out by Emmanuel Nespetti at the start of the race. What does this mean then? With 5 rounds to go, Damon Hill leads the championship in his first full season in Formula 1, don't forget, by 12 points ahead of his teammate Alain Prost. It'll be interesting to see if the Frenchman can put up a response next time out in Belgium. No points for Schumacher, Senna, Alesi, Berger or Blundell, but a good few points there for Martin Brundle as he reaches 10 points for the season, 13 in total. We move up to 12th place in the Drivers' Championship with 5 points to our name. Felipe Alio still down the order. In the Constructors, Williams lead with 120 points. That's 75 points more Then second place Benetton, Ferrari remain in third, and McLaren remain in fourth, with Ligier hot on their heels, 5 points back. We move up to 7th place in the Constructors, getting past both Sauber and Lotus. And that has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe. And next time out is the Belgian Grand Prix, a very exciting track indeed. I hope you can join me for the next one. Goodbye.